Hello, and welcome to Gary Mueller. He is a candidate for Lafayette School Corporation School Board. And Gary, would you like to take a moment and tell your voters about yourself?
Sure. I'm Gary Mueller. I'm 60 years old. I lived in the Lafayette area since 1995. I'm the proud father of three daughters that all graduated from the Lafayette school system, and they've all moved on to other careers outside of Lafayette now, but I'm very proud of them. My wife is Cindy Gerlach. Full disclosure, she has worked for the last 18 months in the Lafayette School Corporation as a communications director. I am working at Caterpillar. I've been working at Caterpillar for 35 years. I'm a um, customer service manager, which means I help Caterpillar dealers fix customers' problems. Before that, I worked in engineering. My background is in engineering. I've got a master's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Missouri. And yeah, I really enjoyed this community. I've lived here three different times. I moved here for Caterpillar. I moved here, like I said, originally in '95. We went away and lived in Germany for a couple of years, and then came back. And then I had worked in Houston, Texas, for a couple of years, and came back. And it's just a great community, a great place to raise a family. And Lafayette School Corporation has been a great place for my kids to go to school.
Thank you very much. So, my first question for you is how do you understand the role of the school board in relating to administration and students and family and faculty?
Yeah, that's a good question. Since I'm new to the school board situation, like I said, my career's been in engineering and customer service and marketing. But my view of the school board's responsibilities are they are the leader. We set the policies or help administer the policies of the school and make the big decisions about um, buildings and things like that. I look to the administrators, the superintendent, and the people who manage each school to do their job, to do the day-to-day management of the school. The school board isn't and shouldn't be involved in the daily issues. It's more of the bigger issues that face the school system. So it's managing policies, budgets, things like that that I think are the most important part for the school board to execute. And I guess I think the biggest responsibility is, you know, the school board doesn't set the budget. That's set politically by the voters of the Lafayette School Corporation. So there's always going to be a finite amount of resources, money, and capital to run the school. So I see the school board's responsibility. It's like a sacred trust to do the very best we can with that amount of money to educate all the students as best we can. So in a nutshell, that's it, Amy. It's that one sentence is to take the resources the community has provided and do the best we can to educate all of the students of Lafayette.
Thank you. My next question is a fill in the blank question. The
Okay.
public schools are blank.
The public schools are blank. I guess the public schools are critically important. Use two words, if I'm allowed to do that. And I say that because I grew up, in Missouri in a smaller school system than say here in Lafayette. But it was really the cultural center of that town I grew up in. And I don't see the Lafayette school system as being much different. For a lot of the kids that attend there, it's where their friends go. It's where they socialize. It's where they learn a lot of things. It's not more important than their parents or more important than their religious upbringing or other things that may be more valuable to them and their parents, but it's really important. And I think without a strong school that's has a good connection to the community and serves the community well, which I think Lafayette School Corporation largely does, it's really detrimental to the community. It's part of having a good community. I mean, like I said, I work for Caterpillar, and we look to get people at higher level jobs and hourly jobs to move to the community. And a very important question people ask is, "What about the school?" And I'm, very proud to say that a lot of good things about the Lafayette School Corporation.
Thank you. Um, School finances are complex, mostly due to state regulations. Have you done anything in the course of preparing to run to learn more about school finances and how the budget will work so that you're ready on day one?
I've done some. I need to do more. First of all, I've done a lot of, as I said, I'm will be new to the school board position, but I have spoken with Les Huddle, the superintendent. I've spoken with teachers and people in the teachers association to see their view on things, and I have educated myself some reading and talked to other school board members that are currently on the board and asked them a bit about how this all works. I am by far not an expert yet, Amy. I think I've learned quite a bit. And as you said, my initial impression is the state has put some laws in place, especially when it comes to negotiations for teachers' contracts that they can only happen at a certain time of the year. And so the communication that the board can have with the teachers and the teachers union is very restricted to certain times of the year. So I don't have all of the details there yet, but I do understand it's something I'm going to have to deal with, the board has to deal with, and it will be for Lafayette. It will be a negotiation year for the teachers, so that will be an important issue going forward.
Thank you very much. School boards seem to have become the focus for a lot of hot button social issues that arise in outside groups. Do you have any plans to be able to hear your constituents over the voices that are brought from outside groups?
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons I am really running when it comes down to it, Amy. I I think in Indiana, school boards are nonpartisan elections, and I think it should remain that way. I don't think national partisan politics there's any place for that in the school board. As I said, it's really about our local board doing the best we can for our kids. Of course, and parents are very important, but I see a lot of these issues that are brought in nationally. They really only serve to divide teachers in the school and the parents. And I would like to listen to the parents. To me, the number one voice it will be the constituents and especially the parents of current students. That's who I really want to hear. I am not very interested in hearing something from a national newscast that didn't even happen in Indiana, or much less Lafayette, and raising concerns. Of course, we need to be aware. I don't want to be naive, but I really don't think there's any place for those kind of voices or those kind of issues. They just serve to distract, right? Some of those things they don't help, uh, you know, hire one more teacher or pay one more bus driver or pay the utility bill or all the things that have to happen in school. It doesn't help. It's just a distraction. Your question of how to get to that, I think I would use my experience from working at Caterpillar. My job, I have to help customers fix their problems, but I got to do it in a way that serves Caterpillar and our employees and our shareholders and our suppliers all in the right way. So I see the same kind of some parallels at the parents. They're the primary voice, but the teachers and the administrators, they often have a lot of the solutions for the problems that are going to be at hand. And I think they may not have all the answers, but my experience tells me if you don't listen to the teachers, don't listen to the parents, don't listen to the administrators, you're not going to get anything done. So you need to look at listen to their voices and find some paths to solve the important problems that are going to face us.
Thank you. We're down to the last minute of our interview. So I want to ask if there are any issues that we haven't covered that you would like your voters to hear about.
Sure. We've covered the most important ones, but I guess the Lafayette School Corporation results from iLearn came out just a few months ago, weeks ago, and they were a little disappointing. And I think so. First, I'd say a standardized test is not the be all end all. There's a lot more to education than how children do on a standardized test. However, they are an indicator, and I think I don't have the answers yet, but I think we should put efforts into raising our kids' test scores and preparing them for the 21st century jobs that are going to be in front of them. The last thing I guess I would do is I already mentioned, but I would like to be a listener. And I think there have been some issues with the Lafayette School Corporation that came about with a three-tier busing system, and I was not part of any of that decision. There was a committee that went through that process, and that committee's recommendations weren't followed. There may be a good reason, but I feel like the board needs to do a better job of explaining, of either having followed that recommendation or having a clear reason and explain to the teachers, the community, the parents, everybody why those recommendations weren't followed. So those are the kind of two issues we haven't spoken about yet that I would think are important.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and good luck.